what I want to do right now is I want to talk about my P40 Pro Plus, give you a 72-hour update at this point since I've now had it for 3 days. This has been my daily driver. I've been using it for people who need to get caught up. I have been trying to find apps that will work on my P40 Pro Plus. So I have been using a lot of stock apps. I use the stock dialer, which is fine. I use the stock mail app, which works fine as well. The stock browser for Huawei is surprisingly good, but I use Opera, so I found substitutes when it comes to that. And then I talked about how yesterday I was able to find the Amazon App Store, which is right here. And the Amazon App Store was able to give me other apps that I haven't been able to find, like Twitch, like Instagram. This also has things like Facebook Messenger, Facebook as well. And I didn't install that because I don't really use those apps, but using the Amazon App Store, after I downloaded that APK and installed it, I was able to get those apps. And then I use something called Phone Clone. Let me pull that up for you guys here. So Phone Clone is a great way to get a lot of apps that I was not able to use on my Huawei, right? So I used Phone Clone on my Pixel 4 because you can download the Phone Clone. You can download the Phone Clone app to your other Android phones or even iOS devices. And I was able to move a bunch of apps over using Phone Clone. I was able to move over, like I'm looking now, the Patreon app, Spotify, Discord, Slack, amongst other apps. I'm just like looking at it real quick. My banking apps, Chase and Capital One. And then this is what I want to talk about. Here is the one app I was able to get. The one that oh, look, it shows me live. Oh, that's so funny. Guys, the one app that I was not able to, I love that it has me here live. The one app I was not able to use that I wanted to use, that I use more than anything else, is YouTube, right? And I have YouTube here, but this isn't normal YouTube. Somebody recommended this in chat, and I want to thank, I can't remember who recommended to me, but this is not YouTube. This is YouTube Vanced, Vanced. And this is not only a version of YouTube that works flawlessly, but this is a modded version of YouTube that gives you no ads. It plays in the background even after you close the app, so you can listen to the audio, like, for example, a podcast, or, for example, watching me live on stream that's happening right now. I was able to install it. It was super simple. I found it on XDA. If you guys have questions, let me know. I'll try to help out. But it works so well. The only hiccup I have on here is I am not able to link up my account to it. So I was able to like add the sign in and put my password in, but when it tried to connect it, it wasn't able to. But for now, this is fine. Like, obviously, it's still showing the things I'm searching for, which is why it has my channel up there. So I'm okay with that. And it works really well. I'm so surprised because I even thought about buying YouTube Premium, which is like $15 a month, because you guys have heard me talk about streaming before. I don't really believe in paying for streaming services. I cut the cord with cable. Why am I going to spend money on Netflix and YouTube TV and Hulu and Disney Plus and HBO Max? Wow, I'm really getting that down ingrained in my head, and Peacock and whatever other apps are out there, because why am I going to spend all that money? Then I feel like I'm being tethered again to a streaming service. YouTube is free, Twitch is free, and now I don't even need YouTube Premium because I've been using YouTube Vanced. It's worked that well. You know what's so funny about the P40 Pro Plus? Even though I haven't been able to use Google Apps on it, I have been able to learn to kind of move away from Google services. I think that is something that, so yes, we can stay in that ecosystem, but I think it's also important to know that maybe it isn't always the best idea to be stuck in that ecosystem because we're so dependent on one company to do everything for us. I didn't realize until I moved away from it, all of the things that we use, right? YouTube, Google Photos, Google Drive, Google Sheets and Docs, like the whole Google Suite, Google Keep. I can go on and on. Android Messages. And it just goes to show, like Google Chrome, I'm just thinking in my head, but there are other alternatives. Google Maps. I've been using the Here We Go app map. The Here We Go map app now, and that's been working well for me. There are other alternatives. I'm not trying to say don't use Google. That's not what I'm trying to say. I'm just saying other options are out there, and sometimes I think it might be worth a look to take. It might be worth a look to take a look and see what else is available. I'm all lost in my words. Anyway, I was pleasantly surprised to see how well YouTube Vanced worked. I'm pleasantly surprised to see how well Opera works, the browser, and even the original Huawei browser. The Google or the Mail app works fine. Anyway, that's my spiel on the software side. I do want to share the battery life on this phone. I've had this phone for 72 hours, right? So over 3 days now. I've charged this phone once. I've charged this phone one time. To be fair, the very first day and a half, I didn't have all the apps that I have been using on my other phones. So I've been pulling out my iPhone 11 Pro, my secondary phone now to take a look at things. But so I really didn't have enough time on it. But here's the thing. I looked at my screen on time. My screen on time for the Huawei P40 Pro Plus, because yesterday my phone died. It even said yesterday, because I let it die, I let it drain down to 0 because I wanted to do a full battery charging test on it, and I will share that today. Yesterday, when this phone died, it said it's going to shut down in 60 seconds, and then it ended up still being up for like 5 minutes. That's how good the battery is. I got 7 hours and 40 seconds of screen on time. I took a screenshot. I don't know if I'm going to be able to pull that up right now, but I wanted to share that, or at least share the info with you, because I know there are a lot of other phones that have great battery life, and that's wonderful. And you'll see there, it says 7 hours and 40 minutes. And so I know there are a lot of other phones that have great battery life, but I have never owned a phone, one that has had this much storage, 512 gigs of internal storage. And I've never had a phone that I've gotten that much screen on time using. So the battery life is excellent on it. I guess that shouldn't be a surprise. It's a big phone. I think it has a 4,200 milliamp hour battery. And then you want to talk about charging. So luckily, even though I have a European charger, the 40 watt, because this is capable of 40 watt wired charging. So super fast charging. I didn't think I was going to be able to use it because it has a European charger or international charger. I don't know I'm sorry if I'm saying that wrong, but it doesn't, it has an international charger that doesn't work with the US. But Wanda Mobile, Grant is the one that recommended the phone for me, or the place to buy the phone. Wanda Mobile supplied a travel adapter. So I was able to use the adapter to use the charging brick. If you want to talk about how long it took to charge this phone from a dead battery, because I drained it to 0% until the battery stopped working. And I have the notes here, so I'm going to read it real quick. In 15 minutes, I got 30%. It charged from 0 to 30% in 15 minutes. In half an hour, it charged to 57%. In 45 minutes, it charged to 83%. So from a dead battery to 45 minutes, 83%. From a dead battery to 1 hour, 96%. So almost in an hour, it charged it to nearly full. And then obviously it slows down after that. And I took notes. So an hour and 5 minutes, 99%. I checked again at an hour and 7 minutes, 99%. And then somewhere between, I checked 2 minutes later after that. And somewhere in between an hour and 7 minutes and an hour and 9 minutes, it charged to 100%. But basically it takes about an hour to charge from 0% to 96% for 4,200 milliamp hours, right? We're not talking about a 3,000 milliamp hour battery. We're talking about a 4,200 milliamp hour battery. I should have done the math and, said how many milliamp hours per minute or whatever. I've done that test before, but that's something I'll leave for a higher production video, because I'm going to charge this more than one time. I'm going to have to kill it again. Like, I don't really like killing my phones to 0%, but for the sake of the channel, for the sake of the science of looking at the numbers, I want to see the consistency and see if it charges up the same, if I get the same amount of screen on time. But I think that's it. I just wanted to share those things with my P40 Pro Plus. I think you guys can tell that I'm very impressed with the phone. I am trying to not move away from Google, but I'm trying to live without it and see if I can live without it. And so far, I'm able to. I'm able to do almost everything with it. The only thing that I haven't been able to figure out is I use an app called Zero, which is a fasting app, and I'm not able to log into my old account. I don't really want to build a new account on it. But like I said, maybe right now this is a stopgap, like using phone clone to get the apps until we can really figure something else out. I know that there was Lucas who was in my stream a couple days ago, and he gave me a lot of great feedback. And I think he mentioned something called pedal search and the Aurora. These are other things I'm going to look into maybe later tonight if I have time. Just other ways to get more apps on here or make sure they're updated. So as I learn, I will be doing this. I should have done this. I feel really bad because TCL gave me the TCL 10 Pro, and I should have just done this. This is such an easier way to give you updates on phones that I buy. But if you guys like this format, because I will do an eventual bigger production format on it. But I think now when I buy new phones, I think I'm just going to start doing this on stream, give you updates daily on the phone. I should have done that with the iPhone SE. I should have taken that phone and used it as my daily everyday. But maybe what it was is I didn't enjoy those phones as much as I have been enjoying the Huawei P40 Pro Plus. It's a joy to hold, it's a joy to use, and I don't know, it's nice to share those experiences. So that's it with the P40 Pro Plus. I will give you another update tomorrow if there's anything else to talk about, when it comes to it. If not, the camera comparison is coming, and I think that's going to end it for the show today.